Have you ever donated to a GoFundMe page for one of your friends who's been through something pretty horrific? I know I have. It seems that these things are popping up more and more, and even before GoFundMe started in 2010, I was part of a sporting club and we rallied together as a community to help our friends who had gone through something tough to make sure they could get back on the right track. I hate reading these stories and I get emotionally involved, and I always tend to donate to these pages. But I have to admit that every time I do see them, there's a part of me that gets really frustrated given what I do for a living, and I know how easy this could have been avoided. So this video is designed to help you to avoid learning these lessons too late. So the first thing is that we're unaware of the cost of not doing this properly. Let me give you an example. Have you ever felt something was wrong with you? You know you needed to go to the doctor, but you put it off for weeks and weeks because you were worried about what they were going to say? Instead, resorting to Googling online and putting yourself in a spin about what could possibly go wrong. I bet that you ended up going to the doctor, you found out the results, and it was nowhere near as bad as you'd made it out in your head. The reason I'm telling you this is that the same thing happens with your insurance. See, I know that you've got in the back of your head that there's a niggle, that maybe something's not right, but you're worried about what you might find or what you might have to do to fix this, and you think it's going to be a lot harder than what it is. We can learn from this example and take that first step to make sure you look into what you have at the moment, take that extra step to work out what you need, and make sure you follow through and get this sorted out so that you don't have to worry about this the same way that you would about the doctor. The second lesson is about starting this when it's too late. Now I'm going to give you an example of going to the dentist. I typically put off going to the dentist a lot. It's not my favorite thing, but the longer I put it off, the worse it got. The fillings that I needed, the root canal, all the sort of thing could have been completely avoided had I gone regularly, had my checkups, and just maintained my teeth in a better condition. The same thing happens with insurance. We tend to put it off until something happens to a friend of ours, or we're feeling something in our body that makes us face our own mortality. And as we get older, it's typical that we start to fall apart a bit more. There's things that go wrong. So when we go to apply for insurance as we get older, we then have to go through the underwriting process, and they come back to us with alterations to our policy based on our pre-existing conditions. Like anything, the secret is to act on this as soon as you think about it to help get the policies in place, and then all you have to do is come back, a bit like the dentist example, and have regular checkups rather than having the full treatment. Inevitably, the longer you leave it, the worse it gets. The third lesson is around the cost of inaction. We always think of the premiums that we spend on insurance as a cost, but what is the cost of not doing this? In the example of a GoFundMe page, you have to rely on your friends and family and loved ones to come to your aid and support you with money at a time that you're really desperate for help. Having less money than you need could lead you to getting non-ideal care, not getting to see the ultimate doctor that you need to, which can affect the speed at which you recover from what's going on. Think about the stress on the family and the financial pressure of not having these insurances in place, when really what you should be focusing on is fighting and getting better rather than having to worry about money. When you think about the cost of inaction, the money that you spend on premiums really does fade into insignificance when you look at the other side of this. Now I know that the first step is the hardest. So if this video has resonated with you at all and now you're ready to take some action, I've made this easy for you. To follow my personal insurance report using the principles that I use, follow the link below in the description, answer a few simple questions, and you'll get your report emailed to you within a few minutes. They say hindsight's a wonderful thing, but what's better than that is foresight. And when it comes to important things like protecting yourself and your family, you can't afford to not take action on this.